Hi, my name is Robert. Welcome to the all-new Sketch Magazine podcast, where we talk about creating comic books. If you enjoy this podcast, please hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified about new episodes, please hit the bell. We appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, welcome to Sketch Magazine podcast. Robert here with Chris.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, bud, what's going on?
Not much. What about you?
Good. Just hanging in there, trying to get the new studio set up.
Yeah.
We'll be making some cool videos for video games and toys. So just well plug it. Go over hit nostalgicnetwork.com. That's who's bringing these, and they're doing all kinds of cool videos, doing these unboxing videos of stuff. So it's pretty neat stuff.
Yep.
So
I think I watched the Doom unboxing. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Classic Doom.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They just got, I don't know, they got something in that they're unboxing tomorrow. Plus, they're doing a product review, our first product, not really review, but feature. It's a handheld game that you can play Super Nintendo games on. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So they'll be posting those next week. So we got all kinds of stuff going on here. But we're here to talk about comics and creating comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought today we would discuss, we've discussed characters and looks and whether it's comic book or comic strip. How about publisher or self-publish?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That is the big one right there.
Well, we've both been with publishers.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was a long time ago. And I've self-published for a very long time. And I've published other people's stuff, as you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, do's, don'ts, the goods, the bads, the uglies. Ooh. Yep. Let's go with a publisher. If you decide you don't want the business in, because if you self-publish, and we'll get around to this, you handle everything.
Mm-hmm.
From the financials to the distributions to everything is up to you. Marketing, all of it. So maybe you just want to be a creator. I just want to make comics. So you reach out for a publisher.
Right.
My past is that I went with Caliber for a superhero comic, believe it or not.
I actually bought those.
Yeah.
That was an awesome line.
They had a deal with Image Comic at the time. So we actually got distributed along with Image Comics in retail stores.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of the deal. So we ended up being one of the higher print run of books for Caliber, and it was superheroes, which, as you know, they were not known for superhero stuff at all. No. So they came to me because they seen the project. We were moving forward with it. We're just going to self-publish it if we couldn't get it somewhere. And they said they had this deal with Image, and if I'd be interested, I'm like, cool, yeah, let's go with it. So they did all 6 issues of Storm Quest, and that was cool. I've packaged books for Image Comics before. I haven't published there. My friend Bo Smith, who created My Own Herb, had a book, and Image distributed a few issues of it. I did all the productions and was in contact with Image Comics and all that stuff. So so that was interesting. But that's really, I've talked to tons of publishers, IDW, Marvel, all those guys owning Blue Line. So I've talked to them and everything, but not I've basically moved into self-publishing. I like to be in control more.
Right. Now, my experience with publishing and publishers is, for the most part, as a freelancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I've worked for a lot. But as far as getting my books published, the first publisher I had was you, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, you published Unit Primes.
Yes, I did.
Then the second volume was self-published. Didn't do as well. Well, the critics liked both, but fans, I couldn't reach the fans, I guess. The second one. And then,
that was a ways back.
Yes, that was, yeah. The internet was where you would, log on with AOL.
Yeah, beep, 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 beep.
It was a while ago,
yeah.
Half hour to download a tiny little picture of a
dial up.
Exactly. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But then I did work. I did get Danger Tours originally published through Marcosia, um,
Right.
and then I that contract ended, so I took it back to myself and kind of sat on it for a while. And then the most recent one was Freaks and Gods, which is still
Yeah.
currently being published by uh, Invader Comics. But
Invader.
in between there, I did a self-published book, and I went to Kickstarter.
A successful Kickstarter,
My
I
very
might
first
say.
Kickstarter, and yeah,
Yes.
I was like blown away by the response on that.
Yeah.
I think I asked for 1,200, and I ended up getting 3,200. So
Yes.
not bad for my first time
Not bad.
self publishing through
Right.
Kickstarter. So
No.
yeah, but I've kind of been I haven't been a publisher.
Right.
Don't think I'm going to.
No. No.
Probably not.
I,
Wait, I should never say never.
no. Never say
Who
never.
knows? Who knows? No
Right.
plans currently. How about we say it that way?
Yeah. I sort of agree. So, I guess what you got to look at if you're going to go publisher or self-publish is the amount of work that's involved. Creating a comic is not easy. It takes a lot of time, especially if you're the creator. If you're doing a load of the production work, as both of us have done, if we've done, a lot of the art and inks and colors and lettering and production and getting it ready, that's a lot of load on you. Along with the publishing stuff, it's crazy. Finding a publisher, I mean, you've been able to do that a couple of times,
right?
And I sort of stumbled into mine. They actually came to me, so I didn't really go chasing a publisher. But man, things have changed so much since I've been out there, with Diamond downgrading, losing Marvel DC. Penguin picks up one, and a mail order business picks up the other one.
Right.
So now we're back up to 3 distributors. When I was publishing Sketch Magazine full time, there was like 3 or 4 or 5 distributors at that point in time. We had a bunch of distributors back then, but just dealing with that many distributors, trying to get your stuff in shops, not guaranteed you're going to get them in the shops. The self-publish is crazy. So, if you're looking for a publisher, you need to find a publisher who probably is currently publishing something sort of like your genre.
Right,
if you're into horror, and the reason is that isn't so much do they need another horror title or another sci-fi title or fantasy title, it's that they already have that fan base.
Right, exactly.
They have that connection with the people who are buying the books. Alternative's one that's out there, and he's still out there. I've seen him on social media and stuff. So Alternative,
The thing about them is they take pretty much any genre.
Yeah,
So
they're all over the place.
Publishing, right? Which they left Diamond during the beginning of the middle of 2020.
Right.
So they're doing it themselves. So that's a potential publisher. But you're right. Hitting publishers that are similar to the genre you have is good because A, like you said, they already have a fan base, and B, if you send your NC-17 horror comic to Archie, they may not understand it.
Yeah, they might. They go, "What's this?"
They might not like it. Like,
well, Archie definitely doesn't have the fan base for it. And let's talk about this. And I brought up that we went to Caliber with Stormquest. Stormquest is a superhero comic book. It's science fiction, but it's a superhero based comic book. That is not what Caliber did. Caliber did everything but they had an outlet to. It was not selling at the comic shops where it made anything. It was the secondary deal being packaged with Image books that got large print runs and distributed in Kmart's and Walmart's and all those places, they wouldn't have touched us if it was only for Caliber through the comic book distributors at that point in time, because it wasn't their thing. And that was fine. I knew Gary Reed very well. And Yeah, he just would not have touched us.
Right.
But you have so many outlets now that if you're willing to take on the workload, self-publishing might be a way to go.
Yeah, that is very true. I think the internet with some of the services and different websites that are available today, I think that does eliminate some of the headaches. Actually,
Sure.
it eliminates a lot of the headaches that we ran into in the 90s and the early 2000s. However, promotion and social media has replaced it with different headaches.
Yes, I totally agree.
So we've moved a lot of work here to over here now.
Yes, yes.
So you got print-on-demand sites like Indie Planet is a great place to start.
And that was a big thing back in the 90s. We had no outlet to get our products out. You had to build your own store and then try to get traffic to it, which was very hard. Still very hard to get traffic to your own store. Yeah. So you had Indie Planet, and we had Comixology, which is now Amazon Comixology. Right. Which makes it easier to upload books, from what I understand. I haven't done it yet. I will.
I've done that on Amazon, and it is. It's pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah. Have you done it since they merged Comixology together?
No. Okay. The last thing I uploaded was a stripped down version of my Tales of the Dark Tunnel. That was the Kickstarter. I uploaded that as a 6x9 book, and that was probably around October.
Okay.
September of last year. Yeah.
I think their final merger happened a couple months ago.
Final.
So they're final. Well, they announced we were going to do it last fall, right, and then it got put off to the beginning of this year.
Right.
So part of it, we'll really get detailed in Amazon another way, but part of that is the KDP, the back end of Amazon. And I was wondering if they've actually incorporated the comic stuff into it, because I know the novel stuff is there,
right? But
is there more comic related stuff there? So
I haven't seen that yet.
We might have to spend one of these videos and get into my back end and experiment and see.
Right.
Because we're getting ready to throw all the sketch magazines up there, and I'm getting ready to throw all the comics back up there. So we can experiment and record it, see how it goes.
Yeah. I haven't seen an option to click "This is a comic."
Right.
I haven't seen that, because I'm assuming when you start the process, it starts with the umbrella and then nails down to your book.
Right.
I've uploaded a few things since that time, and I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Who knows? It could be a click of a button on their end, and boom, it's there.
Well, I know in publishing books, you've got your paperbacks, your hardcovers, and your digital, all those. So, and I know Comixology is still part of Amazon. You can go to Comixology Amazon, and it looks like Comixology. New releases, current releases, you don't have to go just to the open market and do a search.
Right.
So they still have that grouping, which is good. I was hoping they wouldn't get rid of that grouping. So anyway, Amazon's one huge outlet. I mean, so many people shops on Amazon.
Yeah. But the thing is with there's a lot of people on that one, and places like Indie Planet is a great place because the only people who are going there are looking for comic books.
Right.
So 100% of its traffic is potentially because they're all comic book fans. So, and back in the 90s and 2000s when we were if you were going to self-publish, you'd have to go through Diamond. You'd have to go through a distributor. Yes. And trying to convince them that your book's going to sell a certain amount is just
I think their minimum was like 3,000, 5,000, something like that.
Yeah, when I started paying attention, to this, a book like mine, unknown through a publisher that's been around for 10 years, should have sold quite a bit back in the day because the numbers were. But now there's so many different options and things that are available and places for people to get their comics.
Right.
It really is, limited in one area. So. But as far as continuing the self-publishing thing, so you've got yourself a comic, and you're all excited, and it's not just as simple as uploading to Amazon or Indie Planet. What's the next thing that we have to do?
Well, the thing is, you don't want to wait until you have a comic. you want to start thinking about this as you're creating this
That
comic.
is true. That is
And
absolutely true. Yeah.
and there's another factor you need to be thinking about in the whole process, and that's going to be creating a fan base. But we'll rip on that next week or week after next.
Right.
Because that begins as soon as you think of the idea. You need to start building that fan base, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, early on, you need to decide where you're going to go, because either way, you need to get the book done before you try to publish it or distribute it. You need to get it done. But if you're going to chase down publishers, then as it's being penciled or as you complete a dozen pages or so, you can start sending out submissions.
Yes.
The vice of that is the opposite of that is if you're going to self-publish, then you actually start working social medias with that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. The stuff you send out to publishers, you could start sending out the second you got that first page penciled.
So,
and you can even in social media, you can just, you could send a screen cap of your of a panel.
Right.
And just keep it going.
There's really not an and or with the social media marketing. Like I said, we'll get into it next week. Whether you publish or you self-publish, it's up to you to build your brand.
That is true.
You have to be that brand. And that's something that just a few years ago, I realized Skystorm needs to be Robert, right?
Right.
Robert needs to be Skystorm, whether it's my novels or my comics or this coming year, the video games. It's going to be Robert's. It's my universe. I've got to build a brand. Chris has to build Freaks and Gods.
I know.
Danger Tours.
I know.
Prime. All that is Chris. So
so
the fans got to.
You convinced me of that.
Yes. Where the fans got to want to support us and enjoy what we're creating. And that's where it really comes at. We're getting into marketing. But anyway, it's all part of it. You got to do it whether you self-publish or if you go with a publisher. A publisher will appreciate how much of that you do.
Actually, yes. Two things about publisher just popped in my head. First, if you just send a letter, an email to a publisher and say, "Hey, I have this idea for a comic book that's about so and so," don't do that. They would prefer, seriously, if you go to a publisher with a finished book. I'm not talking like half done. Half done's okay. Half done's good. But if you have a finished book, that'll put yours to the top of the review pile. And secondly, you were talking about, oh my God, I forgot what my second point was. I think this happens every video.
Yeah. I don't cut these out either. Just like
I know you don't. You leave them in.
I leave us hanging here. Okay, let me pick this up. You have a finished book.
Yeah.
So your letter to them should be, here's my finished book. It is a 3-issue miniseries. It's a 12-issue maxi series. It's an ongoing. I can produce this every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, once every 6 months. Have a plan for your publisher so they know coming in, okay, this is what I can expect. I have to take your word for it that you can do this. But you're showing me a completed, ready to print book. That's huge. That's heads up. That just shows professionalism.
Well, yeah, actually, and professionalism in this business is just, I'm gonna leave it at that. So what happened to me was I was finishing up issue 3 of Freaks and Gods, and I had issue 4 written, and it was off to Giuseppe for pencils, and I sent them the full complete first issue. Now let's go back a little bit. You had said we should pick a publisher that fits the project you have, right?
Right.
I looked at the time 215, and I'm seeing their books were just all over the board. They just wanted to publish comics.
Right.
So I thought, well, my book is superhero, but it's old school superhero sci. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
And they liked it.
Right.
So they, Mike Perkins, he was like, yeah, this looks great. We're going to do this. The team says we're going to do this. And then he starts talking about wanting a total of 8 issues. Now, I had a plan. My plan was the 4 issues. I was going to do the 4 issues. That was my plan, like you said, right?
Right.
They wanted 4 more. So sometimes your best laid plans, and that was a good surprise.
Yes, that is.
That's
That
a
is
very
that
good
they
surprise.
felt good enough about it. They wanted more.
They
Yeah.
wanted more, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, to go back to your main point, if it's a one shot and you give them the one shot, it's ready to go.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and there's down the road we'll discuss what you need to request from a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to tie your project up with them forever. There needs to be a release time, or
Yep.
you got to get commitment from them that you hope that they can or will follow through.
Right.
So there's a lot of things to request from them.
Yeah.
What you're relieving yourself of is all the distribution, the printing, the financials, all that stuff. Now they're going to take a percentage of the financials because they're doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And be honest, there's not a whole lot of money in comics this way. Let's put it that way. There's not.
I'm going to agree with you. There is not.
No.
Yeah.
So, and I've always been lucky to have the resources to self-publish.
Right.
Being a printer, owning printing companies, owning Blue Line and Sketch Magazine, I've had to work with both because we publish Sketch Magazine. We work with the distributors.
Mm-hmm.
So I self-published and I distributed to comic book stores. It was before digital was even out there. And it's a lot of work that way too. I was lucky. My brother, who is still my partner in the video game store business that I'm in,
mm-hmm.
He handles the whole book end of it. So he handles the accounting and paying the bills and why the printer's not shipped when they said they were going to ship. And so I was very lucky that my duties was divided with someone else. But most of the time it doesn't happen that way.
No.
Most of the time it's you're chasing down the printers. You're chasing down getting things to them on time. You're trying to figure out why the distributor hasn't paid you yet. Or, you cut this deal where they pay you early, but they keep a little bit more of it so you can pay your bill. There's so many different things that you can get into.
Right. Yeah.
The problem is you're not being creative.
No, you're not. You're spending too much time with that.
And I've done that before. I've gotten so bogged down with the publishing end of it, with the distribution end, with building the fan base, with doing shows, which we're talking about doing shows, building fan base. I am just not into doing shows with social medias that we have now.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing against shows, but I just think they are a waste of money and a waste of time right now for what you're trying to do. And we have many stories to share about that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now, as far as you were saying that you were so busy with all the business end of it. When I do my self-publishing stuff, heck, even with Invader Comics, the publisher told me that he was really pleased with how my social media. I mean, he said, very few creators go, and promote as much. And I was like, okay, well, that's awesome. But there have been times where my creativity, I need to get this book finished. I need to work on it. All of a sudden, I haven't posted anything for a week or two.
Right.
I got to get the book done. So, gosh, that balance is really hard to strike.
You've got to stay in front of them.
Yeah.
Right. On social media, it's what are you doing right now? What's up right now? Where's my little taste of everything? So yeah, there's got to be a balance. And one thing is we're back on marketing, but marketing is part of self-publishing. Mm-hmm. You have to build it, and you have to stay in front of them. Whether you set yourself up a schedule, I'm going to publish, I'm going to market, I'm going to show something 3 days a week at this time. And you were telling me earlier how you can set schedules for those to sit down on a Sunday afternoon.
Yep, take a day and just schedule out a bunch of stuff, and then that week. Heck, if your stuff is obviously not topical, you're not posting things about current events. You're posting you could schedule for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
3 weeks. And then anything that you have suddenly that happened with the production of your book or whatever, you can sneak it in between the already scheduled, so it looks like you're just really hammering the social media. You're out there.
Knocking it out.
It's hard. I mean, it's really hard, and I've kind of slacked on that in the last few months.
It's
also
hard.
hard. It's also hard to post current stuff you're working on when I haven't really had the time to work on anything current yet.
Right.
That's a problem too.
You can get in. You can. I guess that's where you gotta always have something in the queue.
Right.
Always something in the works, whether it's pencils, inks, colors. You don't want to give away too much when you're doing that kind of stuff, but you've got to keep stuff just rolling out, even if it's just little tidbits. Hey, I'm thinking about using this. Like we'll figure out, hey, there's this character I'm thinking about doing. Anybody know anything about him?
Oh, yeah, for public domain.
That's just a question. Yeah. Oh, people loved it when they just loved this. And oh, yeah, I know that character. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've seen that character in that book. Or did you know that? Oh, if you get them involved in it, that's one way. And now they're a fan. They're a fan because you asked them to be a part of it and help you with that. So there's all kinds of ways. But we're getting on marketing. We're getting on marketing.
Make it fun. If you make it fun for people, I mean, then they're having fun, and guess what? You're having fun, and you got people commenting, and you're making your book even faster, and
you can make anything fun. It's like Kickstarters. I love doing Kickstarters, even though they are the hardest 30 days of your life. Because every day you're watching your numbers. Are we going to get it? Are we going to get it? Oh no, we lost a couple. Oh no, we gained a couple. I love giving away stuff. It's like, I can't wait to hit that number. We get to give away stickers. Oh, we're going to do this print. Come on, let's hit this number, Oh, you know what? I'm just going to give away a piece of original artwork. Yeah. So, we did that 3 times with the Paradox Wars. We gave away 3 pieces of original artwork. Yeah. I just love that just being able to do that. I just love it.
Someone commented in sent me a message through the Kickstarter, and they said that this was the most fun Kickstarter they've ever been a part of. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, because I kind of modeled what to do from our discussions, Bob, as well as other Kickstarters I've been a part of, like Brian Polito's Chaos stuff. He makes whatever you think of his content, his Kickstarters are fun and exciting.
All right, I gotta check this out. He launched one last night.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he launched his Lady Death graphic novel.
Okay.
And let's see where he's at. I don't even think it's been 24 hours. Now, I think what everybody has to realize with this is that Brian has been working on that fan base for 30 years.
Right.
Exactly. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. He's been carrying this fan base, and he's been working this fan base. Wow. For a long time. Right. Yeah, let's just share this. I'm going to share this screen and see if I can share this screen. Let's see. Let's see. Share screen. Do not expect to do this.
No, I didn't either. I did not expect to do it. Oh, yeah.
24 hours.
24 hours.
He's already at $350,000.
Wow.
1,600. So look, at 1,600 backers, how much are each backer spending?
I don't know. Math is not my strong point. I'm an artist.
A lot. But,
exactly.
I mean, so what we're getting at is do not expect to do this.
No.
But look at what Brian's doing. Brian makes it fun. He does fun videos. He gives away stuff. You did that little postcard book with your.
Oh yeah, I love that. I would love to do more of those.
It was like the first 25 or 50.
I made 25 of them, and
I ordered first because I wanted it. I knew you were going to hold me one off to the side, so I had to.
It was a trading card size card, so rather than making trading cards,
yes,
I thought, wow, it'd be kind of cool to make a little book. So the front was the card, and the back had the information, and right next page was the next card.
But you limited to 25, and I ordered quick because I wanted to make sure I got one. I knew you weren't going to hold me one.
I went through all of them actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I actually have
fun.
2 left because they sent me 27.
Did they? Well, that's because they're overs and
right.
unders.
Yeah, exactly. But I signed and numbered 25 of them, and they're all gone. But
I love it.
That did not cost me hard. I think that cost me under $30. Under 30 or $25 to print that, and that included shipping it to me. I mean, it was next
That
to
was
really
cheap.
nothing.
Yeah.
And it was fun, and people loved it. And
fun. It was fun.
I didn't.
So
yeah.
definitely, just give you a heads up. Chris and I are working on something that's going to be really detailed in creating your own comics. A lot of information about how to set up this kind of stuff. Make it fun. It's daily work. It's 30 days of hell, but it is so wonderful after those 30 days, and it's all about building that fan base. So we'll discuss this more, but look at Brian's Kickstarter over there with Lady Death. Look at what he offers. Look at the different things he does. Watch his videos. And yes, they will send you a video every single day, at least one, if not two, when they do Kickstarters. That's just keeping it in front of you, Yeah,
I didn't have the resources to do that or the time, but I did update almost every single day of the Kickstarter, which goes out to it goes on the campaign and it goes to the backers. And you can share that on social media too.
You can share it on social media, and I think it also goes to the people who bookmarked it but not had bought it yet.
Oh, really?
I think it goes out to them also. It's sort of like their own little circle of marketing and stuff. So I'll verify that. Yeah, but it's a good way to.
I saw what they were doing, and but see that's a different kind of hard work than I think worrying about a distributor and comic book stores. And because every day you log in and you are literally interacting with your fans, with the people who want to buy your book.
A couple of years ago, I spent some time researching musicians, how and these are any musicians who never do a concert, who never just do anything like that. They're strictly building online. They're building their own albums. They're doing digital music, just like comics. And I was like, wow, that's so much like comics. The biggest thing you can do is create an email list.
Oh, yes.
Stay right with the fans. Keep them engaged. Let them know where you're at, what you're doing. So, and this goes around to self-publishing. It's something you have to do. And what we're doing is showing you just how much work self-publishing is. There's a lot of work.
Actually, sidebar. I think you mentioned that course you took from that musician. Forgot her name. Like 2 weeks ago, 2 videos ago, I think you mentioned it. And I forgot. I didn't mention it to you, but I actually do have. You sent me that. I have it bookmarked. I still have that course bookmarked.
Yeah, I think that's for the video game.
No, this is different. This is making a living with your music.
Oh, is it Lydia? I think Lydia.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she does Celtic music.
She makes a really good living, and she never does a concert.
Nope.
And I think people of our age, maybe within 10-year range, the idea of making it in comics without going to shows seems hard to swallow.
Yeah, but that was the only way we could get to meet anybody. Because I can remember the very early days of Blue Line. I would rent a car because I didn't want to put the miles on mine. Fill the trunk up with boxes of paper. Drive to the show, sell out, and not have to put it back in the car. Sell out all the paper. And back then we had just a little bit of art supplies, and that's how we met. That's how we took care of the fan base. We had a little bitty website that a company up in New York was building for us. It's when the internet just hit, and that kind of thing. Having websites were just sort of taken off. So that's how we reached people.
Right.
And unfortunately, I went to the Cincinnati Comic Show last year, did not set up. I haven't set up the past 2 or 3 years.
Right.
But I sat on a Sunday. I sat there with some friends the whole show. And the shows haven't changed much as far as people walking down the middle aisles trying not to engage with you.
Right.
And they are not there to see us. Not many, let's put it that way.
Right.
They're there for the autographs of the movie stars, And, a lot of people goes, well, that's why I hate movie stars at these things. The guy's putting this on needs people through the door. So
Right.
I don't mind them having the movie stars and the big names and everything. But that's who they're there to see. And
Right.
to be realistic, if we could snag them over and show them our stuff, that was great. But social media, it's so much easier to reach out and go, hey, just got this clip of artwork in, check it out, boom.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
out to 1,000 people. If you have an email list, and if your email list is 200 people or your email list is 10,000 people, you drop them and say, this just came in the door, check it out, boom, things are moving forward. They're not going to be pissed because you send them an email. They're going to go, wow, this is awesome,
Right. Yeah.
So
the
it's
problem
all
is
part
getting
of
that email list, but we'll have to get into that at some other date.
You got to give them something.
Right. You do. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
And, some
That'd be
people
part of our
sign up
marketing discussion.
Yeah, I know I have signed up for email lists from seeing one or two pages in social media on Facebook or whatever, and I'm like, wow, that looks cool. So I signed up because it's free and and I get the stuff, and so yeah, I mean that does happen, but you gotta, it's hard. But we'll have to get into that somewhere, some other time.
We'll get into it. So, I would say either way, publishing or self-publishing, you still got to build that presence, that media, and that following. The biggest thing is the back end of it's a little easier for you. You're giving up a good chunk of it going to a publisher, but if that publisher already has a readership that fits within your genre, it might be worth it.
Right.
It might be worth getting that. Self-publishing, if you're new, nobody knows you, the odds of getting in a catalog is very slim. Your stuff's just got to look dynamite. But even distributors want to know, okay, is this quarterly? Is this monthly? You're going to do this once a year? What can we expect to make money off this? Because they got to make money to distribute.
Right. So
or as I was going to do with Paradox Wars, is just self-publish through crowdfunding.
Yep.
That's where I was heading.
After you've done your crowdfunding, I did this with Tales of the Dark Tunnel. Nothing stops you from putting it up on other sites because Tales of the Dark Tunnel is on Indie Planet and on Amazon.
Right.
Stripped down version. Same old cover. I mean, it's you can't get any of the cool stuff you got with the Kickstarter, but it's there, and I can promote it, and it sells.
And it's probably the hardest way to self-publish, but I think it's the easiest way to self-publish right now.
What, Kickstarter?
Yes, any crowdfunding, Indiegogo, Kickstarter. Those are your two that have a following enough that could purchase it. It's because if you bring your fan base and your social media to them and bring them with you, usually I think, and then don't quote me on these numbers, but I think when Kickstarter says, we will bring 60% of your sales to you or something like that, in Paradox Wars, I brought 78% of my sales with me. It was my email list. It was my promotions. It was me hammering, and they will show you where your traffic's coming. Right. The reporting is wonderful with that.
It is. I actually remember checking that, but I don't remember what the percentage was. I do remember thinking, wow. Unfortunately, I don't remember which way that was. It was while they brought it or while I brought it. I was like, wow.
Right. So, I mean, by doing that, self-publishing, not trying to go with distributors, you're not having to go do, either print on demand, which is something we'll discuss down the road,
right?
And the publishing end of that, or you have to have so many copies printed for it's worth having it shipped and shipping and billing and getting money in. The crowdfunding, it's crowdfunded. You get the money. You got to deliver. The key thing is deliver.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I waited 5 years for a book one time.
No.
Yeah, these were from high-end professionals.
Right.
And it took them 5 years to complete and ship the book out.
Yeah, I was worried that I shipped my last one in the middle of December. my Kickstarter ended at the end of October. I was worried that I was shipping my last one in December.
Did you have anybody? I still have. So my Kickstarter was a year and something. I don't know. It ended over a year ago. I still have 6 sitting there that I asked Kickstarter to reopen my case so I could drop them all notes again.
Right.
Like, I need addresses, guys.
Yeah, I need to do
girls.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any that didn't get claimed?
No, actually. One I didn't have. And that was I think that was the person towards the end of December. I think, actually, no, I was shipping out my final set of all the ones I had in December, middle of December. And it wasn't until like beginning of January, 2021, where this person got back to me and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, here's my address. I completely forgot it." And then I just shipped it out. So,
wow.
And then I had a guy who a year later said he never got the email about downloading his digital thing. The digital one, so I just sent him the link, and he goes, "Oh crap, thanks, man. I just found the old one." So I got lucky. I got lucky, and
six of mine still are sitting on the desk or at the warehouse,
waiting to go.
They're all boxed up. They're labeled with their names on Kickstarter, just waiting to go. So actually, just a few weeks ago, I requested Kickstarter, because they will close out after a year. I think they will close out that we don't have access to that information, like the addresses and stuff. So I said, look,
the backer information.
I still have 6 people. I want to reach out to them, which I quarterly reached out to them. And I would like, so they're like, okay, you got another year. Well, I figured if 2 years with trying to reach out to them, if they don't want the book, then sorry.
Yeah. Hopefully one of them is watching this going, "Wait, did I ever get that book?"
Yeah. Hey, if you bought Paradox Wars on Kickstarter and you never got it, drop me a line. And right here's a good time to do this.
Yes, good point.
You can reach us at, down below, sketchmagazine@nostalgicnetwork.com.
That is fancy. Look at that. We're fancy now.
It's down there. Yes. You know why I did that? Because last week I said Sketch Magazine at Nostalgic Network on the voice, but I ended up editing and put the text up above. So this time I made us a banner down below.
I like it.
You can reach Chris and I at sketchmagazine@nostalgicnetwork.com. Or you can reach Bob and say, "Hey, I never got my Kickstarter."
Right. And one time we were talking about how I was going to number Freaks and Gods Volume 2, Number 1, if I was going to put the legacy numbering on the cover or on the inside. I decided I put it on the cover, I put it above the UPC on the back, and I put it on the inside. I just put it everywhere.
Man. I think it's smart. It's smart. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
I think that's a smart move.
It's tiny little font,
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
Yeah. So send us an email and tell us if you think that was overkill or if you thought that was smart.
I think it's great.
Or if you're like, what the heck are you talking about? That'd be fun too. Send us that email.
Go back and watch the last video if you don't know.
Yeah, that's like 2 videos ago, actually.
Yeah, 2 videos. Also, Sketch Magazine will be back. Issue 47 features Bo Smith. We're discussing Wynonna Earp. If you're a Wynonna Earp or Earper, you're going to love this issue. Bo's wrapping up the interview now. We will be giving away some really cool Wynonna Earp items. I can't go into detail yet, but there's some cool stuff packaged. I'm really looking to launch this early April, maybe even the first day of April. We'll see. We'll see. How fun. No, I'm not. No, I'm not joking.
It's a bad joke.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I love it too. It's great.
Yeah, it's good. So, but not joking. Sketch is back. 47. We're picking up right where we left off. We know it's been a while. There's been a lot of stuff that went on life-wise and, just all kinds of stuff that kept us from following through. But a big thing is we're bringing it out because of that logo up in the corner, Nostalgic Network. Nostalgic Network is helping us put this out, and we'll get the magazine going again. And it will be at Kickstarter. We're not going to go through the distributors. We're going to self-publish through Kickstarter. I'm sure we'll be sharing our nightmares and the good things about it here. So
And I'm going to have an article in there about public domain.
Public domain, yes.
Characters.
As usual, I talk about business stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of. I can't really say who. I know Tom Beerbaum's back. He's been on every issue.
Okay.
Love Tom, DC Legionnaires and Legion, and yeah, choke me up, Tom.
So excited.
Bill Nichols is back to edit it, so we'll get it. We'll have to do an episode just discussing it.
Cool.
Oh, talking too long.
Yep.
So, see, so I made notes, right?
I did, but
also we have a Patreon page.
Oh, that's
It
right.
is.
Yeah.
It is Nostalgic Network. We have a pay level, I guess it's called.
A tier.
A tier. Thank you very much. We'll have to open that up next week and discuss different ways. There's no longer a subscription at sketchmagazine.net. Remember, sketchmagazine.net. And we actually taken away some of the things that's there, and they're going to be part of another project that Chris and I are working on. So we'll go into more detail as next coming months, describing that and offering up more information about it. But there's still probably a couple hundred interviews and articles and how-tos and stuff like from Steve Staglin and Bill Nichols doing his interviews of some of the pros that's working in the industry. There's a ton of information at sketchmagazine.net. So go over there, check it out. If you want to support it, there's a level. Go to Patreon. And I tell you what, I will this weekend put a link on sketchmagazine.net to the Patreons page, make it easy for everyone to get to.
All right.
If you decide to support us, and that's how we keep this going. That's how we're going to keep Sketch going between the Kickstarters and Patreons page. I think we even have a Discord. Do you know Discord?
I do not do that, but I know of it.
We're going to drag you over Discord.
Oh boy.
The boys over here at the video game, Nostalgic Network is really into video games. That's what we're whole about. So they're really into Discord and all that. So we actually have a Sketch Magazine Discord channel to chat over there. It's like Discord is like back in the day when we had bulletin boards. Remember those days when we were sharing stuff? That's what Discord's all about. Yeah. So because I'm looking at this going, all right, back in the 90s, we had bulletin boards. What's the big deal? Oh, no, and there's, you can do this. I'm like, all right, they're fancy bulletin boards. Okay. So anyway.
Faster, that's all.
We will, I will start trying to spend like some time during the week on Discord, either I or Clay, and Clay can drag me into it, and be available. People have questions or just want to chat about creating comics. We're over there. So I will also put the Discord link. You have to ask to join. They'll get you joined up, and then we'll do something. We can even do a chat over there if we want some point in time. And we'll drag Chris with us, kicking and screaming all the way.
Kicking and screaming, please.
Yes.
Reference.
All right, bud.
All righty.
Publishing or self-publishing, both is a lot of work. Both, you still got to build a fan base. Upon all that, you still got to create. So you got
to make the book.
You got to make the book. It's all about the book. It's all about making the book. We need a shirt. It's all about making the book. It's all about making the comic, So if you don't make the comic, none of this matters.
Yeah.
So you've got to figure out what works best for you, how much more work you want in. Do you have partners? You have other people? Be careful with people outside of your area. How much power and control you give them might make self-publishing easier or building that fan base easier. The more you can get help doing that, it works. Right. But either or, it depends on to me, it depends on how much workload you want. If you can find a publisher that has your genre, who you can benefit and they can benefit from bringing in new looks and feels to their readers, then it's a no-brainer. If not, you got your Kickstarters, your crowdfundings, your digital books.
I'm actually doing both at the same time.
Yes, you are.
And I can say good and bad about both of them.
Yes.
So it really is what you want and what, that's what it comes down to. we can't make these decisions for you.
No.
But we can just kind of point you in direct and let you know how things are.
Yeah, all we can do is share because we both had experience. Like you said, currently you're doing both.
Yes.
I've done both. I had decided just to self-publish through crowdfunding. And now I'm sort of considering going to make video games.
Yeah.
Because of things that you brought up that happens when you lose an artist or you lose stuff, and that's where it kills your motivation and your direction. I still want to tell stories. I love to tell stories. I love my characters. I love the Skystorm universe. I just talked to somebody about doing this big jam poster of me with like 50 of my characters on it, which have all been characters. It's going to be awesome looking.
Cool.
But we're thinking about doing them within a video game format. So that's, and we'll get to that. There's other ways to make money off of your properties. Now we're talking about properties.
Oh, IPs.
You know, as far as shirts and hats and games and
merchandise,
and just merchandising. So that's stuff we'll discuss down the road. But yeah, I think either or, it's just what kind of workload. Like I said, if you got questions for Chris and I, we're more than happy to answer them, share them. We'll get on here and discuss them and talk about them. This is a big, I do think it's a big decision for a creator to make at this point in time. And there again, if you reach out and no publisher bites, don't get discouraged. They're all getting reached out by 1,000 people. There's so many people trying to get in their door. If your book at this point doesn't grab their attention, then hell, go self-publish, go do a Kickstarter, build your fan base. They'll come knocking on your door wanting to distribute your book.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, yeah. So there's really, again, no right or wrong answer. We just discuss both ways and try to share some of our ideas.
We should change the name of this to yeah, but, or
yeah,
like character or story. Both. There you go. Both. That's what we're
both. That's our new shirt. Next week we will premiere the new merchandise. Both.
Comic strip or comic book? Well, actually, no. You have to pick on that one.
Yeah, well,
that one you kind of have to pick on.
Yep. No, I agree.
You can't let that one sit. All right, with that lovely.
All right. Well, we sort of killed our 30-minute thing.
Oh, yep, we did.
Yep. So, oh well.
Well, anyone who sat and listened to us mumble and ramble for 52 minutes, thank you.
Yes,
very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Hopefully,
right?
Yes. Subscribe.
Like,
hit the bell if you want to get notifications.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. And we'll discuss. Hey, if you got a suggestion for something for us to discuss, hit that email down below.
There it is.
Send us an email.
Yep.
You can also jump on the Sketch Magazine, Facebook, and social medias. I usually check those every couple of days, or I get notices sent to me. So you can reach us many different ways. So, All right, Chris, take care, bud.
Yep. See you later. Talk later.
All right, take care, bud.
Bye.
Bye-bye.